Alright guys, how are you? We're here in Newark Vintage Tractor Show. This is video number 3. I hope you're not getting sick of it, but I love this. I absolutely love it. There's everything here. There's a D10 Caterpillar Rover. I think it was in the first video. We're going in here. There's a Marshall tint. There's a David Brown tint. There's International tint. The David Brown Club are here, and I'm going to keep promoting them because I'll tell you one thing. The David Brown Club, look at all the selection of ties. The David Brown Club were so good to me. I landed over. They weren't open. Look at this. That's a savage looking piece of kit, isn't it? They weren't open. And John, thank you so much. John came out. John opened the club for me, and he showed me around. And there's a video there of it. And if you were going to England, you're going to any place near Birmingham or Manchester, probably York, Leeds. The club is very, very close to you. It's very, very close to you. I would highly recommend get in contact with them. Look them up on Facebook, and they have some amount of stuff. How are you doing? They have some amount of stuff. They are just. It's a fantastic club. They have Treasuremans. They have all the David Browns, the David Brown history. The whole lot is there, and they're here with a stand, lads. Do me a favour and subscribe, or get on to them, become a member, keep the club going. And of course the most important bit I left out is they're actually on the old site of David Brown Tractors, and they're on the old site, and they're on the old factory site, and they just it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Alright guys, International Cyrus McCormack is the man behind International. Cyrus McCormack came up with the idea of the Reaper and Binder. I think the Reaper was there and the Binder was possibly there, but Cyrus McCormack came up and he actually combined the two to make the Reaper and Binder. And after a while they combined 4, maybe 5 companies to come up with the International brand. Like International now, to young fellas today and to my own young fella, International is just a tractor of the past. But International were so big. They were so big. These boys were just colossal big, like they came up with the first farm all tractor. The idea of the farm all was more ties, more everything, savage looking trailers. They came up with the idea of the farm all. Up until this point, there was tractors that would do one thing. There are tractors that would do threshing for you, tractors that would do pulley work for you, tractors that would do ploughing for you, tractors that would do just kind of basic enough stuff for you. There's buns here too, lads. They would do basic enough stuff for you, and he came up with a tractor then. This tractor, the idea was, it's a farm all. It's a tractor that would farm everything. You had a pulley on it, you had hydraulic links in it, you could drive it on the road. It really was a groundbreaking tractor. Then I suppose later years, there's parts here, lads, there's everything. Later years, International, this is the farm all here. I don't know if this is the original one or not. Is this? No, this is probably it. This is the farm all, as far as I know. Open to correction, I'm not an expert. But it was a tractor that could do everything. It was a farm all tractor. Like there was a belt pulley on it. There was 3-point linkage. There was a towing tractor. It was, yeah. And of course the farm all is still there today. Case now have a farm all tractor. Like look at this farm all. It'll farm everything. Farm all Cub over there. With more parts. We have International have a big stand here. But like I said, David Brown have a savage thing. David Brown, and you know, lads, I was so well treated outside in the club by everything. I must go over and talk to this fella here now. What's this fraud here now, like?
Sorry? Nice to see you.
How are you?
How are you?
For those of you who don't know, go on.
Yes.
Who are you?
Yes, I'm Peter Love, yes. I represent Kelsey Media, who are one of the sponsors of this show.
Oh, you sponsors?
Yes, we are indeed. Yes, and we're in the international area at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
In one of the outer buildings, and I'm heading towards the Massey in a moment. And of course, I produce also Classic Massey and Ferguson Enthusiast magazine as editor.
And if you have anything that you think that could be they would be good for the magazine.
Well,
Send it on
the
to
Field
yourselves.
Marshal anniversary, that's wonderful, in the George Stephenson, where our trade stand is.
I saw
That's
it.
well worth going along to see it. And also the anniversary, the 80 years of the E27N.
Oh yeah,
That's another
Was it
thing
80
you need
years?
to also use.
And I could argue with you now. You're the man to have an argument with
no, please don't.
about Zetor.
Oh, Zeta, yeah, I love Zeta.
Are Zetor 80 or 81?
Well, that's an interesting question. I'd have to little think about it, because don't forget that Zeta's an interesting situation, because it was either going to be Zeta or it's going to be Skoda.
Oh,
don't forget, they made 2 tractors.
Yes.
And they were basically used, and the government, which as you know was communist, decided on Zeta and not the D30 Skoda, which there are a few Skodas of that
I didn't realise
type,
that.
in existence. But what you need to do here, there's a very fine display of Ian from Norfolk round the corner there.
Yes,
with
I saw
lots
it.
of loads of Zetas, and there's more Zetas in the
But
other side.
my argument with Zetor is, and it's not a bad argument, is Zetor, there was a competition launched in 1945 to design the first tractor.
Yes.
But it wasn't launched until 1946.
No.
So are Zetor 80 years this year, or are they 80 years next year?
It was only the prototype. I mean, the 15 was the model that they came along. You want to have a look at it. It's got very crude steering and a single-cylinder engine as well.
And is that over next door?
No, I haven't seen it. There isn't an early one here. And they didn't have, don't forget, the unified colour of Zeta in Czechoslovakia is blue.
Yes.
It's not the colour we see here. And in the early days, you could have that D15, which was the first one, in green, blue, I'm just something that red. I've seen one in red, but not the Zeta red. The D25 was one of the most popular Zetas made and sold all over the world.
Brilliant.
And that is a really, there's lots of them in South Africa, Australia, a few in New Zealand.
And of course, what people don't know is Zeta also made John Deere's, and there were rebadged John Deere's and sold in South America.
They did. You're totally right. The larger ones, but at that point, the reasoning for that was because the Iron Curtain had come down. And they were looking for investment. And of course, the American government got on to John Deere, and that was the tie-up there. But it wasn't a successful one because they had strikes in that period.
Oh, did they?
And that's why John Deere pulled out.
I didn't realise that.
That's it.
Peter, it was brilliant meeting you.
If you have a chance to go to Brno and look round the works, it's really well worth it. Don't forget, there's two, in later times of Zeta, there was, when the communists were about, there was the factory in the other side of Czechoslovakia. There was the 2 factories.
I didn't realise that.
And the black ones with the 811s, but with the black style front, they were made in the old tank factory.
Oh, brilliant.
And they don't have very good gearboxes. They always had the best standard, but of course was over at Brno.
Brilliant.
They're much better made. Have a good show.
Thanks, Peter. That was Peter Love, lads. You know, in the first video we spoke to Peter Love about. Well, we didn't. First video we did with his stand was over in the first tint. That's the David Brown Club there again. I'm going to keep pushing the David Brown Club because I was so well treated. I was so well treated, and but Cyrus McCormick International eventually bought out by, I believe, Tinnacore Case, and they just went from there, and I looked at it, made in England. I'm always looking for the Irish made tractor. That's right. If you ever have anything you think is worth maybe sending or worth publishing in the David Brown Museum, what's in here? Worth publishing in the tractor stand. In the tractor magazine. I'm trying to look around me where to go next. In the tractor magazine, Peter Love's email address, get it there, Kelsey Publications, and attach it to Peter Love. He's a fierce nice fella. He's an unbelievable interesting man. He's just such a knowledge of cars and tractors, and I think he has 2 the Allards 2720. She's a bigger one. I drove a 2640 and a 2680 at Silage. They were a handsome tractor. They're a big strong tractor, but And the problem was with them, they were slow. Oh my god, they were so slow. David Brown 30D, Massey Ferguson 35s. Lads, there's some stuff here. The sun now is going to, we're just going to go cross country. We're going to go indoors because it will be. I've potato digger. I've two of these. One of them I got off a friend of mine in Kilmiley by the name of John Flanagan. And I actually don't know where I got the second one. But the idea was, well, this is a PTO driven. The one I have is ground driven. And there's a ground driven one around here. There's not. And, oh, this is ground driven. Look, we look at this one. I believe it's not. This is PTO as well. My one was ground driven. And the wheels stick in the ground and they turn it and they throw the spuds out to the side. And apparently it was a yoke. It would kind of separate the spuds as well, but it would throw the small spuds away out and would throw the big spuds just out. But there's some fella going to comment now that he remembers being on one and they were backbreaking. They were backbreaking. They absolutely were. The boys are setting up a kind of a potato grader here on my right. You get around the sun. They're setting it up. How are you? Three different types of potato graders that'll be going during the day, but we won't be getting it because more inside Fortson. Lads, this is savage. This is just brilliant. Plowmaster 64. Different plows, Ransom's plows. Ransom's crawler. I know where there's one of these. In very, very, very poor condition altogether. Okay, Nuffield. How are you doing? Nuffield again, of course. Oh, lads, Jesus, look at this. Nuffield again. It has, Jesus Christ Almighty, all the stuff. Nuffield again is a savage story. I can smell sausages. I don't know if you can smell them or not, but I can smell sausages. Nuffield again is a brilliant story. Nuffield was born out of, after World War II, the government or the king or the queen, whoever was there at the time, went to Lord Nuffield. Apparently there's a village in England called Nuffield. Someone can tell me if there is or there isn't. And they went to Lord Nuffield and they asked him, could you design a tractor for us? Joe, we'll be making our own tractors after the war. So he said he will, and he went ahead and he designed the first Nuffield. Then they went on after that. Of course, they ran into trouble, and Leyland, Leyland ended up with him, and then of course Leyland ran into trouble, and Marshall ended up with him. But a bit of a story to the Nuffield tractors is Dites. They could have very well have been Dites tractors, and Dites came over to Leyland. I think why they were probably still blue. And he went to the Leyland factory, opened a correction on this now in Scotland, and this is a V-twin, this is a nice tractor. He went to the Leyland factory in Scotland, and when he got there, the boys knew he was coming, and they actually went on strike. They went on strike, that was it. And the reason they went on strike, it was actually not the staff or not the cleaners or not the whoever. We're in the Massey Ferguson section now. What it actually was the cleaners that went on strike, not the production staff. And the reason they went on strike is because up until just slightly previous to this, they had brushes and mops and for cleaning the floor and all that kind of stuff. Not enough for universal cases. They had brushes and mops for cleaning the floor, and they were after getting hoovers, industrial hoovers, and the fellas doing the cleaning wanted machine operator wages. And the Leyland group said no, but we all know what it ended up being. It ended up the factory was sold after to Marshall, and Marshall went on to make their very best attempt at it, but that didn't work out, and yeah. A Plowmaster 90, not a big yoke, lads. I had an argument, there's about 1200s over here. I had an argument the other night on the phone with a fella, and because I got the name slightly wrong, he kind of thought he could knock me down a peg or two on the phone on the things, but he didn't. But we have another Doe. he told me because I said mapromastic, whatever it is, mapromastic or something he called it, and big laughing face and everything. But yeah, best of luck with that one, mate. I hope you fixed your Ford. 565 Massey. There's a heap of Masseys here, 135s. Of course, the Massey Ferguson again. That's another brilliant story, but just barely survived, I suppose, to be honest. Massey merged with Massey Harris. Massey Ferguson, of course, Ferguson tractors. This is a Ferguson. You see it here. Look, if you look at this thing, this is that's the badge on it. The Harry Ferguson Limited, Coventry, England. But like, Ferguson, of course, had no choice. He had no one to build his tractor. I think the Standard Motor Company built a tractor for him in day one. He went on from there, then the Standard Motor Company, and he went to David Brown. And so David Brown, I'm going to credit David Brown with the first ever tractor with the hydraulic system. And he went from there then, and David Brown, of course I should have said this in the David Brown video, but I didn't. David Brown actually fought with Massey Ferguson. And David Brown wanted the third gear. Massey Ferguson said no, there's no need. David Brown argued with him that they wanted a road speed. So if you ever have a Ferguson, you put into third gear, every time you put that tractor into third gear, you need to say thanks to David Brown. And then at the end of the thing, David Brown wanted to go bigger, he wanted to design bigger, wanted to design better, wanted to design stronger tractors. And of course Harry Ferguson said no. And then Harry Ferguson he went away in secret and made a famous handshake agreement with Henry Ford, came back to the UK, dissolved his partnership with David Brown. But at that point, David Brown already had the VAK1 fully designed and more or less ready to go into production, which there is over in the David Brown stand. And then, of course, Harry Ferguson built his own tractors, and they went on from there on a lovely 550. All Fergusons again, big Fergusons, and he went on to design his own tractors then after, and eventually they got going with Henry Ford. And watch here, look, that's a Massey Harris Ferguson now, look. Yeah, diesel. Most of the tractors you're going to see are going to be Massey Harris Fergusons. That's a Harry Ferguson tractor, but a lot of the Harry Ferguson tractors, when he built his own engines, built his own tractors, I think that could be a thing for the Ferguson design, but he had a Continental engine in some of them, and if you have a tractor with a Continental engine, it's actually a kind of a rare enough tractor, to be honest, as far as I know. 1200s. Oh yeah. EDF, what's EDF? I don't know what that is. West Burton Power Station. Oh yeah, West Burton Power Station. I had a 1200. Some of you might know, some of you might not know. I had a 1200 in I'm going to say 0708. I had a 1200. I did a lot of work to it. I bought new tires for it. The clutch in the middle, the pulley was gone, that spline shaft, that was gone. Ended up selling it. We were in the middle of a fully fledged recession in Ireland. I had to sell it to pay for, maybe make a payment on a mortgage, but that was it, sold it. Of course, that time when I bought it, they weren't making massive money, but of course they're making savage money now. But that's life. More Masseys, 148, 35s, 8130, more Masseys. There's Masseys here. Masseys debate abandonment. I presume it's kind of stables. What is here? Can anyone tell me what's here of a normal day? What's here Monday to Friday? Or is it just for this? Do they do a bit like the NEC in Birmingham? What do you know? That's a Massey Harris Ferguson. Peter Love over again. Peter Love was a fierce nice fellow. We spoke to him there in the last video. Was it the last video? It was, yeah. But I don't know. I'm after making so many videos now. I actually don't know. All Fergusons. Another Ferguson. All the tools. 185s, 188s. 175s. Ferguson sprayers. Potato planter, for those of you that don't know, we'll give a quick look at this one. The people are starting to gather. They put their spud in there, somebody put their ass up there, they put their spud in there, and they'll just go around and down and see the spuds in the ground. Lads, that's some savage bits of kit here. And you know, well done to everyone. Well done to everyone. I love these events. I love these shows. I love all this kind of stuff. A 175. There's a neighbour of mine has a 175, but she has the weighted wheels. What's that one? 165. Massey Ferguson baler. 165. Big lineup of Fergusons. Of course, Ferguson and Ford would tell you, Henry Ford would have told you that he never made any money out of the deal that he had with Harry Ferguson. And you know what? Well, he blamed Harry Ferguson for that. But this is the Ford 8N and the Ford 9Ns and all this kind of stuff. He blamed Harry Ferguson for that. But Harry Ferguson had it designed in such a way that he was not really making money out of the tractors, but he was making money out of the implements. That's where he made his money. Out of the loaders, out of the power boxes, out of the transport boxes, that's where Harry Ferguson made his money, made his absolute small fortune. So, but a lot of the Henry Ford as well, then, like during the war in America, they put more as a price freeze on everything, and he couldn't up the price of the tractors for 4 or 5 years. Nice Massey Ferguson 165. The wheels in the back are savage. No. Massey Ferguson baler. Wouldn't one of those be cool? One of those would be savage cool. Peter Love, who makes the Massey Ferguson baler?
More than likely that's a Heston one from the United States.
This is Peter Love. Peter, I think we're in a different video this time. I'm making about 5 videos. Peter Love, Kelsley Publications.
There you go.
Peter's a nice guy, and like I said, if you have anything you want to send him, send it on. Send it to Kelsley Publications. Put it down for the attention of Peter Love. Right guys, I don't know what else is there. We're going to walk out, and if there's another video we'll make it, and if there's not, we're not. But if you're here, leave a comment. It's probably Christmas time at this stage by the time I have all these videos edited and put up and everything else. And yeah, give a like, subscribe, and pass a comment on where I was wrong. Cheers guys, thank you.